Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we will be unhauling some books. I am very excited that I'm getting to the point where I don't have anywhere near 1,000 books. I don't know the actual numbers right now, but all of the books that are on my shelf after this unhaul are going to be books that I've either read and loved or that are still on my TBR, but I'm actively excited to read them. So this is just gonna help the process of figuring out my reading tastes and honoring that, and someday I will have 1,000 books on my TBR. No, not on my TBR. That's crazy. I like having a low number on my TBR, but I will have 1,000 book library someday. Maybe in an upcoming video I should do all the stats and all the numbers and things like that, but I don't have those prepared today, so instead we're just gonna do our fancy unhaul. Why is it fancy? I have no idea. I'm just saying stuff, and I like to talk a lot, so I'm gonna try my best to not talk a lot. While unhauling these. So, Mistakes Were Made by Meryl Wilsner. I actually enjoyed this book to an extent. I gave it 3 stars, and it was good, but I feel like Aaron and Cassie should have just had a fling, and this was a kind of romance book where I don't like that they end up together. And I don't think that's a spoiler because it's a romance. I do like the LGBT rep though. And I like the forbiddenness of the relationship, but it did feel like it was just nonstop smut, and no plot. And I like, even my smutty romances need to have plot and substance. Okay, that's why I'm unhauling that. And by the way, I shouldn't have to put this disclaimer, but I will put this disclaimer that if I get rid of a book that you really love or anything like that, it's no offense to you. It's nothing personal. It's just reading is subjective, and I didn't agree with these books, or they just didn't agree with me. I didn't love them. Alright, here we go again. Knight's Edge by Liz Kieran. Vampires aren't really my thing. This was also more about a toxic mother-daughter relationship, and I don't need that in my life. Breathers by S.G. Brown. This was not bad. I gave it a 3-star, I believe. It's like a funny horror novel, and there's romance between 2 zombies, so it was kind of bizarre, but it was fun. It was a good time. I just will never read it again. Then there's How Bad Things Can Get by Darcy Coates. This is her newest release. Oh my gosh, my husband's gonna be mad, so Pinky promised you won't tell him, although I'm sure he'll find out tomorrow if we go unhaul these at the local bookstore. I bought this a few years ago, before I had read all the Stephen King books in here. Then I read Carrie, and Carrie was better than the movie, but it was still just fine, in my opinion. Then I read The Shining recently, and it was better than the movie, but fine. I have no interest in Salem's Lot. It's vampires. I'm not a vampire girly anymore. And this is beautiful. That's kind of why I'm do I really want to? But why do I need this really gorgeous edition of Stephen King when I'm not even a Stephen King girly. This one hurts. This is The Reformatory by Teraniva Dew. I made it 220 pages into this novel and nothing happened. Lynn Painter. I love Lynn Painter, generally speaking. Okay, I like Lynn Painter, generally speaking. This is Made for Each Other by Lynn Painter. This follows the millionaire trope, and I just hate that trope. I hate the millionaire trope. I've never seen it done well. How Can I Help You by Laura Sims. This follows a con woman, and I just found out that I don't like stories that follow con artists. They don't do anything for me. This was sent to me a couple years ago when it first came out. Before it first came out. This is See You Next Fall by Annabelle McCormick. I'm never gonna read it. I appreciate getting sent books, but I'm never ever gonna read this. I don't even know what it's about, but she has a guitar, and generally speaking, I don't like books that follow like musicians. This one is so beautiful, and I fell into the beauty of this haunted house story. This is We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinborough. I don't think that I like Sarah Pinborough's writing. This one is a new to me book. I just bought it back in August or after I got credit. So it's one of my newest ones. Love, Lies, and Cherry Pie by Jackie Liu. I read this. It was fine. Okay, these are so pretty. I read Frigid by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and the next in the series is Scorched by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I don't think I ever finished Frigid. It's like this friends to lovers romance, and she is 21 and I believe he is the same age as her, but it read very young adult to me. Then I have Fight for It and Fight for Her by Lauren Green. This like Kramaga romance, I think, between Mia and Sean. Sean is the coach, I believe. I don't know. Fight for Her is the next in the series. And I got them at Half Price Books a couple years ago. Still haven't read them. Haven't even thought about reading them. This one saddens me. This is Our Lady of Mysterious Elements by T.L. Huchu. This is like a mystery, a fantasy mystery, I believe. And there's like ghosts and haunting things, which usually isn't my type, but it says hints of sophisticated academic magic will draw you in. This is something that I would really love to read still, but I don't. It's the second in the series, and I don't have the first in the series. Oh, but it's the Edinburgh Night series. The Library of the Dead is the second one. I really am very excited to read this, though. So it kind of saddens me to say goodbye, but I don't have the first in the series. Oh, am I going to save it? No, I can't. I can't. Then there's Before We Were Years by Lisa Wingate. I bought this before I started fostering. So I've been in process of fostering for a year and a half, but I've been fostering for 13 months. And I don't need to read this. I don't like historical fiction books. Then I have Lost and Found by Jacqueline Sheehan. This is some kind of dog story. I think it's a contemporary fiction. There's dog in the story. Okay, so a few years ago, my dog Wyatt died. I'm sure you guys remember. If you're an OG. If you're not, I'll see if I can find that reading vlog where he died. You don't actually watch him die. You just watch me fall into a deep madness over my baby. But when Y-Man died, I went into this hysterical state of mind, and I bought all of the dog books, even if I'm not interested in them. And I don't know what this is about. I've had it for several years on my shelf now because he's been gone for a while. So I'm just gonna unhaul. It's time. And it doesn't mean that I gave up on Wyatt or that I didn't love him tremendously when he was with me. It just means that it's time to let go of some of the weird ways that I grieved his death. Then there's Lean on Me by Pat Simmons. This sounds really good because I obviously got it at a library book sale. But this follows Tabitha, who takes care of her elderly aunt who has dementia. And I think that it's all about going through the emotions of seeing someone suffer with dementia, and that's something that hits me super close to my heart. But I'm never gonna read this. Then there's Should I Tell You by Jill Mansell. I think that this follows foster siblings, and their foster dad is sick or just passed away. I'm not entirely sure, but I remember this was a library book sale before I became a foster mother, so a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago at this point. And we were thinking about getting into fostering, and I just saw, hey, foster family, and I'm like, let's buy it. I don't need to read it. I live it. And there's At the Edge of the Hot by Catherine Slagman. This is Infinite Home by Kathleen Alcott. Is The Black Phone Stories by Joe Hill. I don't like short stories. I think these are, I just don't like short stories. In general, it sounds really good. It sounds terrifying because you follow from Finney's perspective, and he's in the psychopath's basement, and every time I talk about it, I want to read it right away, but then I put it down and never think about it again. I bought this, I believe that I bought this in June of 2024, I believe, for the Thrills and Chills Book Club readathon. And it was gonna follow a prompt there, I believe, and then clearly I never read it. So you know what? It's time. It's time. I love K.A. Tucker, okay? So several months ago at this point, I bought a whole lot of K.A. Tucker books. And I've read a good chunk of them, but one of them that was in that lot was A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker. And this is, first off, it's humongous. Okay, well, it's not quite 500 pages, but look at that font. It's so small. I don't like fantasy, and I didn't even know Kay Tucker wrote fantasy, which is like good for her, girl, but I'm never gonna read that. There's The Last Guest by J.P. Pomeroy. I've tried to read this several times, and I feel like I'm kind of out of my domestic era. While You Were Sleeping by Catherine Croft. I have read this, and it was good. I actually very much so enjoyed it. Then there's The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I've never read it. It's one of those classics that I would like to read someday, but if I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna not read this edition. I'm probably gonna get it on Kindle or read it via audiobook. Then there's The Dream Workbook by Jill Morris. So this is like all about dreams and what they mean and things like that. I enjoyed it. I just don't need it anymore. Then there's Edenville by Sam Reblin. This was sent to me a while ago, and I wanted to read it, but it's like it follows an author, and I know that most people love that. I, on the other hand, hate following authors in books. Generally speaking, there's always like a rule that I follow that it just never works for me, but there are some books that do it all right, but I just didn't like that one. Then Death Becomes Her by Michael Andrell. I kind of figured that I would get rid of this after I read it. It's not bad. It is actually better than I thought it would be, but my brother got it for me for Christmas. He said that he really liked this book, and I enjoyed it enough. I don't want to continue the series. This is not my normal type of book though, so I kind of expected that I wouldn't love it. I didn't hate it. I think I gave it 4 stars. Then I am gonna get rid of The Story of Dr. Dolittle. I've never read it. Then A Dog's Way Home and A Dog's Courage. Again, this goes back to Wyatt. After Y-Man died. Okay, I know his name was Wyatt, but I called him Y-Man a lot because he is my little troublemaking puppy. But after the unfortunate death of Y-Man, I bought all the dog books, and these have been sitting on my shelves unread for years now. I'm never gonna read it. And The Martyrdom by Rachel Kushner. I DNF'd it. Then The Resting Place by Camilla Steinston. Not the author for me. I read those, but I have already gone through. I've already gone through my shelves and see how I have some that are just kind of sticking out. I don't know if you can tell or not. There's a few that are sticking out all over my bookshelves. So I'm going to go through them, I think, in fast forward. And then I'll come back to you and tell you if there are any that I'm saying goodbye to, since we're in a ruthless unhaul mode. and these ones are leaving. So I'm gonna go through those, and then these ones I want to do a try a chapter of, or try a page. I don't know however long I'm figured out if I want to keep them or not. So let's just continue with the Unhaul. There's Tell Me No Lies by Lisa Hall. Most of these are on my TBR, and I'm just no longer interested. So The Love Story of Missy Carmichael by Beth Morey. The Last Wife by Karen Hamilton. The Lost Girl by J.C. Gray. A Death at the Party by Amy Stewart. Little Bee by Chris Cleave. Penelope by Rebecca Harrington. Dear Emma by Katie Heaney. Wicked Serve by Grace Riley. This one is not the first in a series, or else I would keep it, but I think it's the fourth in a series if I remember correctly, and I know that technically you can read them out of order. Okay, it's the fourth in a series like I thought. I know that technically you can read them out of order, but I'm not that kind of girly. I have to read them in order, and I don't even have the first book. The first book is called First Down, Breakaway, Stealing Home, and Wicked Serve. And I would love to read this entire series, but I don't have it, so I'm just gonna unhaul it. Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strauss. Orphan Train by Christina Baker Klein. The Hustler Next Door by K.A. Tucker. So We Meet Again by Suzanne Park. I've already read both of these and they were fine. I think I gave them both 3 stars. I just don't need them on my shelf anymore. Then A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreate. Like I said, domestic thrillers aren't my thing anymore. Hello Fears by Michelle Pooler. I don't really read self-help books anymore. Not saying that I'm perfect, because I'm definitely not, but I don't like reading self-help books when many of them sound very preachy, and like, if you don't do it exactly like this, then you're terrible. And I'm just tired of feeling like a terrible human. I'm not a terrible human, so it's time to go. Glitter and Glue by Kelly Corrigan. Then Keith Urban by Jeff Apter. Secrets to Happiness by Sarah Dunn. Again, I bought this when right after Wyatt died. The Fixer Upper by Lauren Forsyth. I DNF that. A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kazuko Jackson. The Worst Best Man by Lucy Score. Hideaway Heart by Melanie Harlow. Man, this one is so pretty, but again, this is not the first in the series, and it's so sad. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? Hideaway Heart. Hideaway. Okay, so it's the second in the series, and it's so pretty. And watch. There's this beautiful map. Ugh. So I'm actually sad about this one. I'm still interested in this one, but I don't have the other book in the series that I need, so I'm just gonna unhaul it. Be the Girl by K.A. Tucker. This is a young adult K.A. Tucker book, and I don't read young adult books often, like hardly ever. Sweeter Than Chocolate by Lizzie Shane. And Rebel on a Break by Chrissy Q. Martin. So that feels like a lot of books that I'm unhauling. My next update will be when I've read the first chapter of these 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of these 12 books, and we'll get together and talk our way through it. Alright, it's the next day, and I read the first chapter of those 12 books, and I'm keeping 6 of them, and I'm unhauling 6 of them. It's funny how that worked out. These are the 6 that I'm going to keep. I'm Room to Breathe by Liz Talley. I'm going to keep. I am not interested in the diabolical mother-daughter relationship or the toxic mother-daughter relationship, but you start from Daphne's perspective, who is mom, and she is redoing her bathroom, which is kind of funny because I'm not redoing anything, I'm just painting and doing touch-ups and things to my house, but that was funny. And she's like this 24-year-old contractor that's doing all the work. She thinks he's cute, but I'm pretty sure that he is her daughter's ex. I just don't know if mom knows that they dated or not. Surrey, Who Am I? This one just grabbed me right away. It's about this like socialite who has no friends or no form of ID when she is hospitalized in a coma for like 2 days, and now she's waking up, but she has no idea who she is, but she can quote like Sleepless in Seattle or one of those rom-com movies. Then there's The House Beyond the Dunes by Mary Burton. This is told primarily in like diary entries, and that's fun. The Night She Went Missing by Kristen Bird. So the first chapter comes from a dead girl. Like prologue is, they find me face up in the murky water of the harbor on the day of my funeral or memorial service, whatever. It's not like there's much difference. Dead is dead. So I want to keep it. Then there's The Ruining and Little Pretty Things. Although, you know what? I'm going to get rid of these 2. So I'm only going to keep 4. I'm going to get rid of The Ruining and Little Pretty Things. Mainly because I've tried to read Little Pretty Things a few times and I continuously DNF it. I never get anywhere with it. Then there's Getting His Game Back. And Not a Happy Family by Sherry Lapina. Then Nice Girls, Don't Wake Up, Nanny Dearest, and This Is Not Over. So those are all the books I'm going to be unhauling. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!